I was told to stand there and look pretty, so. Good morning, everybody! Good morning, Dave! Okay, I heard her and them. Let's hear everybody else. Good morning, everybody!
Good morning, Dave!
Okay, I need to adjust something real quick. Nico, on the monitors, can you unmute me on my ears, please? My voice? I am? Check. Oh, there I am. Thank you. All right. We're going to do a song, right? So we're going to stand up. You don't sing from our seats, please. This is pretty easy. It's whoa, oh, oh, Spirit of God is upon us. Me. Upon me, right? Upon me. I'm not a word guy, I'm a chord guy. So, whoa, Spirit of God is upon me. Here we go. Whoa, Spirit of God is upon me. Here we go. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, here we go. Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, that's it. I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should, cause the scripture told me. Say what? He said, you gotta be good. But now I love cause I want to. Now I love cause I'm free. I'm blinded by the Spirit, yeah. Cause the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes it is, oh. Let's hear the crowd. The Spirit of God is upon me, oh. 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 Play, magic fingers, play. Upon me, oh, the Spirit of God is upon me, oh, the Spirit of God is upon me, oh, the Spirit of God is upon me, oh. I used to think that I had to, I used to think that I should, cause the scripture told me. Yeah, it said that you gotta be good, but love cause I want to. Yeah, I love cause I'm free. Yeah, I'm blinded by the Spirit. Yeah, but I said cause the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is, oh. Come on, come on. The Spirit of God is upon me, yeah, oh. The Spirit of God is upon me, oh. Yeah. Upon me, oh, keep going, everybody. Spirit of God is upon me, oh, Spirit of God is upon me, oh, Spirit of God is upon me, yeah, oh, Spirit of God is upon me, yeah, oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is. Oh. Give sunshine.
You guys hanging out? Yeah? All right. Hello, everyone. They're not hanging out. I'm Nate Hitchcock. As usual, I will be your flight attendant on this spiritual journey today. We're headed to Oneness, the town of Oneness. It's a beautiful city. We're going to take a brief layover in Unconditional Love, the Unconditional Love International Airport, where some of us still have some work to do. Some of us will be staying there before we can head on to Oneness. We are a wild soul sanctuary here. Let's go ahead and read our mission statement. Alana's currently being distracted in the back in the sound booth. We got our mission statement? It's all good. We're a forgiving bunch here. Let's all stand up and hold hands. Let's really embody this mission statement. Eric, I'm going to come hold your hand. Go, Gadget Arm, you can get Dave over there. All right, we stand together to create a global ecosystem of unity, deep wisdom, and loving kindness. All right. My apologies to the introverts in the room. You have my compassion, being one myself. All right, and now is a really fun time. So if we can briefly, we're going to release the safety belt sign, the seat belt sign. Go ahead and put your tray tables up, and you can walk around the room briefly and greet your neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has illuminated the safety belt sign. Please return to your seats. Unleashed. Call the air marshals. All right. As you all know, this is a volunteer-run organization. There are a couple of full-time employees here, but everything else is done by volunteers. So this moment, we like to acknowledge those volunteers. Specifically today, we have Jim Pasmore coming up to give us our talk. Donna Benjamin's going to come up here and do a beautiful meditation with her flute today. I heard her warming up earlier. It sounds amazing. Soulshine, who is in full force today, and they are sounding great. I was here for the warm-ups, and I didn't catch it, but I hear Victor is on point today. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And we have our kitchen staff out there who helps us with the food afterwards. The first volunteer position I had here was the janitorial team, so I know how much they deserve our applause right now. That particular team sort of hides out in the dark. They come in after hours and the place just magically gets clean and nobody says anything to them. So if you see somebody on the janitorial team, give them a hug because they work very hard to keep this place this beautiful. All right, and there's a bunch of other teams which I don't have time to go into today, but they're out there. If you are interested in volunteering, come see me, come see Claire. She's not here for a couple weeks. Talk to Jane. We can help you get slotted into that world. It is a very rewarding way to serve this community, and an important one because we can't do it without you. And then we have our chair, which has graduated from an everyday chair to a large chair. And it's a special chair today, extra special chair today, because this week we lost an important member of our community. Our friend Zeke, Eric's companion Zeke, has passed on Tuesday. And so he's hanging out with us today. I see his dog bed's here, but I'm pretty sure the young Zeke is up in that chair right now. Yeah. I know when I go to heaven, if I was a dog, I'm like, the heck with the floor. I'm in the chair from here on out. Mom and Dad. Okay. You know, it's been a tough week for me with Zeke's passing. My relationships with our pets over the years has been tremendously more impactful in many ways than a lot of my relationships with my humans in my life. And I'm sure there's some people in this room who can relate. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they love us so well, and they love us so unconditionally, and they make it so easy to love them in most cases. And I thought, for a long time in my life, it was really hard losing these pets. And last week we filled out the cards, and I was blown away how many names I was writing down on that card, how many special companions I've had of the four-legged variety and others in my life over the years. And last week, or a couple weeks ago when I was up here, I talked about some past life regression hypnosis therapy I had worked on, and I thought I'd share with you, for those pet lovers in the room, and Eric in particular, an experience I had with an animal in one of these regression sessions. And this particular life was, I don't know exactly when it was in history, but it was during the settlement of the West. It was a very small town, dusty, almost no color in it whatsoever. All the buildings were brown and drab and all other jazz. My current today wife, Erin, was also in this life. We were not romantically involved in this one, but we were in this town together, this small town together. And in this point, in this regression, I'm back at her property. She was a single woman, sort of a rebel, much like she is today, but except not single, thankfully. She's crazy enough to marry me. And she had this horse that was ill, and it was up against this barn, this terribly drab, brownish gray wooden barn, and the horse was laying on the ground. And if any of you know horses, when they lay on the ground, sometimes that's not such a good thing. Oftentimes it's not such a good thing. And the horse was clearly at its end of life, and she was very sad about it. And I was there, and we were friends of some sort. I never was quite clear what that relationship was, but I remember the horse is just breathing slowly, and I kneeled down, and in the regression session, and I put my hand on the chest of this horse as it's breathing, and in a second, I knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this horse was our current day dog, Stella. And it made perfect sense, knowing this dog, that she had a life as a horse on this planet. And it was one of those things that you just know. That's how this regression therapy works. You get to these things and you see someone, they don't look at all like who you know today, but you know at a soul level that this is who it is. And it was a very important moment for me in knowing that this is not it. What happens here in this lifetime is not the end of it all. And Eric and Zeke have likely spent many lives together on this planet. Perhaps Zeke was a horse, perhaps something else. And we'll come around again. So I thought I wanted to share that with you, and just so we know that there's more to life than we think here. And until we come to terms with the everlasting, our afterlife, honestly, I think it's going to be hard for us to have any sort of peace on this planet if we can't come to terms with what comes next. So I thought I'd share that with you. All right, and as usual, we have our land acknowledgement. We want to acknowledge those who, speaking of those who have been before us, the Wasco, Warmskings, Klamath, and Paiute tribes who have taken such beautiful care of this land here that we are now on, not doing nearly as good of a job. Sometimes difficult as we see what's going on around us. The trees come down, the concrete goes up. But these tribes, we want to respect that their presence was here before us, and thank them for their stewardship of this land. Next up, we have Jane, who's going to lead us in prayer.
Today is all about wisdom. And one thing we know is that wisdom is not an outside commodity. It dwells within, in the chamber of our hearts, and in every cell. And all the questions that we have, all the frustrations, all the challenges that are before us, there is a wisdom within that allows us to address these. that leads us away from illusion into a place of knowing that all is well, that all shall be well. With wisdom, we turn away from circumstances that distress us, and we dwell in this peaceful place of stillness. Be still and know that I am. I am the source of all creation, the unending, infinite love. I am. And when we remember who we are, who all beings are, the I am expressing infinite, changing form, but ever present, ever powerful, then we know peace. So today we claim as a community to join together through our breath in wisdom, in being that force that is so powerful, that guides us on our way. And as we join together, we radiate wisdom out into our community and into our world. Like the sun that shines and reminds us that we have another chance. This wisdom goes out and reminds us we can choose again. We can align with love. And so we release this prayer now. We know the power of prayer when it is shared. And we are so grateful. And so it is.
I'm going to give you a minute to write down on those green sheets in front of you, on the chair in front of you. There's our prayer claim forms. We don't beg or beseech, we just claim our prayers. Claim on that form and turn it in, and at the offering time, and our prayer team will pray over those for a week, and then it'll go on to Silent Unity for a whole month. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful experience. So take a minute and write down your prayers, and I'll play underneath you. Let's sing the prayer song together, shall we? Breathe in and know I am. Be still and know I am. Let go and know I am.
Wasn't kidding about Soulshine being on point today. Sounding great, guys. Celebrations. Do I have any mic runners here today? I've got one. Eric, you're going to want to take it around? No, you've got a celebration. Well, go for it, Eric. The mic runners come up. Let's go, Eric. What do you got?
I just wanted to give some details on Zeke's passing because it went really well, and couldn't have asked for a more Zeke-appropriate way for him to go. We got up early and got took one last car ride to Starbucks, and he got a pup cup and then he came back, and our landlord had given us some Frosty Paws, which are these ice cream. I think they're like frozen yogurt treats for dogs, and we had a bunch of pig's ears. So as the vet was getting to the house, because I paid for the house call because I did not want this happening in a cold, not temperature-wise, but just a cold room in a place that he didn't enjoy being. So anyway, she came, and Manissa and I and my girlfriend came by also to be a part of it, and everybody just kept feeding him Frosty Paws and pig's ears, and the last memory he has of being on Earth is being petted by the people that loved him most, and he went with a pig's ear in his mouth. So, and that was pretty much pure Zeke right there. So, and a couple people were really generous, and I don't think any of them are here, but you know who you are online if you're listening or watching. Thank you so much for donating to cover the cost and everything, and I can't thank everybody enough for all the love and support and everything that y'all have shown me and Manissa and Zeke, and just y'all are amazing, and I appreciate and love all of you.
It takes a village, doesn't it? We're not in this alone, and that's why we have this community. We've got a celebration right here up front with Jane. It's a race. Go.
Well, I took my grandson on Friday to Sun Mountain Fun Center, and I didn't do terribly at the video arcade.
Woo-hoo! Go-karts, bumper boats? No. All right, who else has a celebration? Hold those hands up high so the girls can see. Over on this side.
I just want to acknowledge Diane McAllister. She showed me in a difficult situation what true friendship is and what giving without expecting anything in return. And I thank you, thank you, thank you.
I just want to add to what Eric said, gratitude for our landlord, because when he found our refrigerator went out this week too, so he's been over the house a lot this week. But he actually came, when he heard we were putting Zeke down, he actually came over with a whole 4-pack of the Frosty Paws just for Zeke. So, and that's above the call of being a landlord, and it was just awesome.
My daughter is going to be a mom, and I'm a first-time grandma, so I'm so excited about that. And so we are getting ready to have an amazing baby shower. So I wanted to put it out there if anybody has any crazy like furniture or anything like that, because we're having a Mad Hatter tea party. So if we have any crazy stuff that you just don't want anymore, because we'll be having a silent auction with it, and the donation will go to his trust or whatever. So when he gets older, he'll have a college fund. It's a boy.
All right.
On the pet front, I was going to Home Depot with my grandson yesterday, and we were having a conversation about dogs and unconditional love, not surprising. And but then we started talking about all the stuffs that the dogs chewed when they're puppies. So then he looks down at the armrest in the van, and he's like, "Who chewed that one?" And I'm like, "Oh, that was Coda." But anyway, we also have an heirloom, like it's this really nice stuffed chair that my mom got refinished for me. I always liked that chair. And then, I mean, it was like a year old, and this dog we had chewed it up. And then to top that all off, last night, we have a dog that is an aspiring herd guard dog, right? But so I could hear a chicken going off in the middle of the night, which is very unusual. They're very quiet. And so all I have to do is open the door. And I don't know what went on last night, but basically all the chickens are there. But stuff was going on out there. And he was taking care of it. So that was awesome. I just was like, all right, good, deal with it. That's your job. So thank you.
Yes, there are amazing people in this congregation, but I want to point out too, Monica is now the head of the our fearless chairperson for the Earth Care team, and we had our meeting, and there were 6 of us, and I just want to let you know that there's a lot of people here who are really tending to their own Earth Care principles as well as doing that here. So great job on whatever day that was. And then Beth, I just want to really acknowledge you for your relationship class. I think that was phenomenal, and I hope that you continue to do more. And she's doing Dance Your Prayers today, too.
We've got one more back. Yeah, did I see a hand? All right. Hold it up proud.
Thank you. I just wanted to celebrate Judd, who released this week his first record as a solo artist. And if you ever release something, you know how hard it is when you're by yourself, so I wanted to acknowledge that.
All right, I'll give one more because that hand is up so enthusiastically.
Yeah, I just want to say a shout out for universal love. I know that sounds maybe a little funny, but I just want to say that I've had 2 very difficult relationships, my son and my sister. And the reason why universal love is so powerful is that I've been holding the attention that healing could happen with both of them. And I've spent a lot of time with my son these last month, and healing is so powerful, and it's happening. And my sister, who I didn't talk to for 3 years, is coming to visit me tomorrow. So, you know, the intention is so powerful, and I just feel so blessed. Thank you.
And as always, our beautiful planet is celebrating. Today we're celebrating the ozone layer. You guys remember that big scare from the 80s? Like the ozone layer is depleting, we're all going to die of UV exposure and all of that jazz. Well, we immediately enacted a bunch of efforts as a planet, as it turns out, to mitigate this issue, to remove some of the gases we're letting into the atmosphere that were destroying our ozone, quite obviously and impossible to deny, much like some of the things that are going on today that we love to try to. Now, an international team of scientists says that efforts to protect the ozone layer has been a huge global success. Damaging atmospheric gases are declining more quickly than expected, and I did a little reading on this before I came today, and they're saying middle of the century or so, perhaps even earlier, that we'll see a complete, full recovery of the ozone layer. So this is awesome. I often have walked about the planet and with great sadness and remorse when I see the destruction, and yeah, as you know, I see the trees come down and the concrete go up, and so like it pains me. But then I stop and I think for a second, without us here, this planet is just—it's going to come back so quick. And you see it all the time when you see a building that's just let go and they don't do anything with it. It just starts to crumble, and the plants start to come up and take it back, and in no time at all, the earth what the earth does. It grows, it multiplies, diversity, it comes back. So the earth is in good hands with itself and the universe here. So, and the ozone is no exception to that. All right, kids, we have kids today that are heading out? You guys want to come up for your blessing? And then, Monica, are you coming up to talk about our challenge today? Wisdom for the planet?
Gotten a little slip of paper, and if you didn't, the greeters have some to hand out. So if you raise your hand, this is for, they'll give them to you. This is for the Power of the Planet challenge we're trying to do. So the purpose of this is to bring action into our own homes. And so we came up with an idea of having a raffle after the end of the 12 weeks. And so each week there's a challenge, and there's a, it's linked to the talk. So today there's going to be a talk on wisdom, and so this week's challenge is to use wisdom in choosing what we maybe put into our mouth. So this week we're going to be talking about making a plant-based meal. If you already eat plant-based, that's great. You pass the challenge. If you don't, you could try to have at least one meal intentionally that's plant-based. I actually listed some websites that I use for getting ideas of meals to cook. And if you do it, then you come back next week and you put your name in the raffle box out there. So there are 2 raffle boxes. The kids are going to be doing this too, and talking about it at Sunday school. I wanted to say one thing though. The video, I watched this video, and I would say as a parent, I would probably watch it and make sure you think it's appropriate for your kids, because it does talk about farming, factory farming, and I think some of it might not be appropriate for younger kids, so you have to make sure, I would watch it first and make sure that you think it's something you might want to handle it a little differently, and just, maybe do something a little different than what this was. I haven't vetted them all yet, so. Anyway, and the other thing is just a reminder for parents, if you're dropping off your child, we need you to fill out the clipboard, and it's going to be located in the office. There's a clipboard that you put the name of your child, your name, and your cell phone number in case you need to be contacted during the service. So just a reminder to do that too. All right, thank you.
Fantastic. Awesome. Let's go ahead and bless these youth.
Thank you.
I love this prayer. Don't forget you have an inner child inside of you that needs this prayer too, so include yourself in this. We appreciate the holy gift you are. We see the Christ light shining from you. May you always know what a treasure you are. May you always bring your gifts freely and fully to the world. Namaste. All right. Have fun, kids. Who are our plant-based gurus in the room if you need any help with this plant-based thing? Because there is, and this is very clear, there is no better way to help this planet than having less meat in your diet. And this is scientifically known beyond a shadow of a doubt. Our animal consumption is a huge problem for this planet in the amounts that we do it in. You don't have to get rid of it, okay? But reducing it significantly, there's nothing. You can drive electric cars, you can electric bikes and all this other jazz. It pales in comparison to what happens when you dial back your meat. So, Donna, I know you are a plant-based guru. I know my beautiful wife here is a plant-based guru. I see one in the back. These people, I guarantee you, am I wrong? You guys will happily share your wisdom on this subject with those around you. So if you need help and you want to learn more, seek them out. I know they want to share. It's their passion. All right, is Suzanne here? She's another one. There she is. Haircut? I didn't even recognize you back there. All right, just me. Okay, announcements. First, I'm gonna grab this one, the plants. These beautiful plants up here, they're being overwatered. Somebody in here is trying too hard to, again, save them, okay? So there is a very specific person right here who is in charge of watering the plants. If you're not her, please don't water the plants. I know they may look like they're having trouble here and there, and that's, we appreciate your love for them, but, maybe just don't, okay? Because you can water these plants too much, and there's a very special technique that we're employing to water them, thanks to our past friend Daniel and his beautiful wisdom around houseplants. All right, dance your prayers with Beth. That's today at 1:30. Yes, Beth, did you want to talk about it at all, or you feel like it's, yeah? All right. We don't have many announcements today, so we can make a minute for you. This is platform 1.
Dance Your Prayers is moving meditation to music. There's some opening circle. It's really about embodying more what your prayer is, what your manifestation is, and moving to different kinds of music. Also to let go of what may be in the way. So it can be fun. It's at noon in the building right behind here in an hour and a half. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet. All right. It's at 1:30, right? It's not at noon?
It's at noon.
Oh, it is at noon.
Noon till 1:30.
Oh, noon to 1:30. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. And then Donna was going to have a vegan creativity class today, but she's had to cancel that. But you get some one-on-one from Donna if you want. She'll be happy to give it to you. All right. And then we have our men's group meeting tomorrow at 6, right, Dan? Yes? See this guy right here. Oh, yeah, you have. Dan got the message today about the proper shirt color. As did the other Dan.
You're not wearing a turquoise shirt, you're not cool. You and I are cool. The men's group has been a useful tool for us, the men in the community, to get together and reflect on not only ways that we can enhance our lives as spiritual men, but also to help each other and then help the community. So we kind of reconcile things that are going on in our personal lives, and then also kind of think of ways that we can reach out and help each other as a community. So if you know some guys who would like to enhance their personal positive thinking and practical spirituality, have them come join us. Thank you.
All right. That's here tomorrow. That's every Monday at 6 p.m. here at Unity. All right. And then every first and third Monday. Did you guys guess that I don't go to these? I'm working on it. It's an area for me. I'm plenty outside my comfort zone in so many things right now, so I forgive myself for not making that one of them. All right, women's drum circle. As a not woman, I am thoroughly envious of this, but any women in the room are enjoying this drum circle? My wife goes to it, and I hear just amazing things when she comes home. She is walking on air, or whatever the expression is. She is high as, it's awesome. So I encourage you to come and check that out. Drums are available to borrow if you don't have your own. There's a plethora of them, and this is an amazing place. And when you come in, you'll feel this next Sunday after you come in. This place feels differently after they do their thing here. So come to that. And then, as always, check out the website. Kevin does a lot of work to keep that up and running, and that calendar and a variety of other volunteers. That calendar is great, and if you want to do some stuff at Unity and you can't find it, you're not trying hard enough, because just head to the website and check it out there. All right. Who's up next with the Soulshine? Who's got the first song? All right. Hold on to your hats, people.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without every one of us. I just remember it's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing is better. I can see through my tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket, but I'm only seeing half of the show. There is scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know. And it's good. It's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us, by and
Thank you, Soul Sean. It's funny, my wife tapped me and said, "Did you do this song?" No, didn't have anything to do with it. There's an album out there called Jim Henson and Margaret's Christmas. Yes! This is a childhood favorite of mine. I listen to it every year and I'll sing it to my family. And that's one of the songs on that album. And the Muppets slayed it, and Donna has slayed it. And thank you, Donna, for that. Have you guys noticed how beautiful Donna's voice has been over the last few weeks? Donna had some tough stuff to deal with a couple months back, and a long, painful journey to make some difficult changes in her life. And she did them, and I don't know if you noticed it, but as soon as she did that and it was completely behind her, she's elevated, her aura has grown, her singing has become more beautiful, and her flute has become more beautiful. And so I encourage you to use her as inspiration. We all have some difficult, you know what, to deal with in our lives, right? That we're putting off and not dealing with because it's easier to do nothing, and but change is the only constant. Including across the street, change is the only constant. And if it's pain, let's take that Band-Aid off and you'll sing beautifully with Dawn up here. Okay. Coming up is our friend Jim Pasmore, and I'm pleased to refer to him as my friend. I hope he's okay with that. I am absolutely honored to have him in my life. He'll deal with it. 81 now? Or 82? 81. This man is 81 years old. Has anybody been on a work crew around here with Jim? Yeah. And did he run circles around you? Okay. So he's got 36 years, 31 years. He's 31 years older than I am, and he's literally running circles around me at these work crews. And he's as strong as anyone I know. CrossFit, is that what keeps you so strong? Yeah. If you hug him, it's like hugging a giant boulder, and not in a bad way. It's just rock solid muscle. But he's an amazing man. I'm so proud to have him in my life. This is his book that he wrote many years ago about how much life he has lived in his 81 years. And I know he's working on a new one, Around the World in 80 years. Yes. And I highly encourage you to grab this book, especially if you want to know more about him after this talk. It is a fun read, and you will think you knew him before, you will know him at a whole new level after you read it. The adventures he's been on in this book are absolutely crazy. I can't believe he's still on this planet with us. Clearly there's something else going on to keep us here together with him, because he should have died many, many times over. Please round a warm welcome for Jim Pasmore.
Nate, thanks so much. Wow, great introduction. You are such a good judge of character. Modesty prevents me from saying more, but we'll leave it there. Hey, I'm so happy to be here. Wisdom is just a subject that's dear to my heart. I'm trying to get some. And so I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned along the way and from some of these books. I won't read all 3 books in full, don't worry. But there's a couple of things in each one of them that are pretty profound, okay? I'd like to start by thanking Jane for summarizing my talk. You know, we're connected on this deep level, and wisdom is one of the things we have in common. We're in a unity of wisdom, and so we connect on that level. And it's interesting how often a speaker will get up and the meditation will be just exactly what they thought they might have done if they'd done it. I'd like to start also by sharing a little story. This is about a young monk who joined a monastery, and the abbot was showing him around the monastery, all through the various areas. And when they came to the scriptorium, they noticed that all the monks in there were making new copies from old copies, creating a whole series of more copies. And the young monk said to the abbot, well, you know, what happens if there was a mistake in the copy they're copying from? It would be propagated continuously. And the abbot said, that's a very wise observation. Hang on to that wisdom. It'll get you far. And later that evening, the new young monk was going by the scriptorium, and he heard this wailing and screaming. And he looked in there, and there was the abbot with an old tattered book in front of him. And he said, celebrate. The word is celebrate. And we do that here, don't we? So, as the song you heard says, wisdom, it's in every single one of us. We all have a sage within. There are no exceptions. There's nobody in here, whether you know it or not, that doesn't have a sage within that you can draw on. It's not a matter of your age, even. Yes, experience does add to wisdom. But even without a long life of experience, we have many examples of young people in here that are leaders with deep, deep wisdom. And you know them. They're all through our congregation. So it's not just gray hair that brings wisdom. We all have access to it. So I wanted to talk about a sage, and I created a little acronym for SAGE. Spiritual attributes, grows, and evolves. And spiritual is basically understanding the fact that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Every real sage knows that. Now, there are worldly sages that don't have spiritual wisdom, but they don't have that depth of connection. They can't really mentor in the way someone that's got spiritual connection can do, because you're drawing from what's within in spirit, which is infinite, absolutely infinite knowledge. Attributes, and I want to ask for your help on this one, because, all of us in here have these attributes. What are some of the attributes you would just raise your hand and yell it out, you think would be applicable to being a sage? What are some of the attributes? Love.
Inner peace. Patience.
Inner peace. Patience. Empathy. Discernment. Listening. What? No, discernment. Yeah. Understanding. Yeah, exactly. We're really hitting the nail right on the head with that. Those are a lot of the things that I wrote down. But I also wrote down humility. I'm working on that. And a lot of other things. Wisdom, was that mentioned? Okay. Discernment, I know, was mentioned. But so those are some of the attributes. But a sage also grows. A sage learns from their mistakes. We all have the opportunity to learn from our mistakes. And that gives us that spiral of learning that can convert into wisdom. So don't think of your mistakes as something wrong. Think of them as learning experiences because they help us to grow. And the last one, E for evolves. A sage evolves. And we're going to talk about a really interesting, I might say profound book that I was reading that talks about us evolving as a species, not just individually, but as a species in common. And I'll share that in a little bit as we go along. So I want to talk also about the two types of wisdom that I think exist. One is called worldly wisdom, without maybe the spiritual aspect, and the other is spiritual wisdom. With worldly wisdom, basically it means that we have understanding that allows us to create value in our life and in the lives of those around us. And that doesn't even need any spiritual wisdom, does it? And we'll talk about spiritual wisdom as well. But I wanted to just talk about worldly wisdom because worldly wisdom can be something that's very beneficial if you add it to knowledge. Knowledge alone can get us into trouble. I know a lot of extremely encyclopedic knowledge people that I would say have very little common sense and haven't converted it into wisdom. So maybe they've got all this knowledge, but they're using it inappropriately, sometimes not even for good. So knowledge alone doesn't cut it. We need to add that wisdom to it. And we're going to talk about adding one more quality to it as we go along. And I'll bet you can guess what it is. But right now, worldly wisdom, with the right teacher, that person that has that deep knowledge could learn to adapt and to convert it into wisdom. So that's the ironic part. So many people have this knowledge, but there's not the teacher available, or the teacher hasn't found them, or they haven't found the teacher. So that to me is something that we need to really work on as human beings around the planet. And I hearken back to ancient Egypt, where they had what's called mystery schools or mystical wisdom schools. This goes back thousands of years. And in these wisdom schools, well, first, I wrote down a little saying that I thought I'd share with you. The third eye leads to the butterfly, okay? Now, we talked about, in every one of us, open your eyes, two eyes. But there's a third eye as well. And that's what they tapped into in these wisdom schools in ancient Egypt. The way that it worked was this. They would teach knowledge, a chunk of knowledge, and then the student would be asked to put it into action some way that was appropriate to their life. And after they put it into action, they were asked to use what's called mindfulness to really think about how that impacted their life, what they can draw from it. And then they were asked to think about the mystical aspects, the metaphysical aspects of it. What did it bring to them from that? And lastly, they were asked to meditate on it until they could understand, bring it into their heart completely, and take it in at a soul level. Oh my gosh, at a soul level. So what they believed was that as they did this, their soul was enhanced with this wisdom, and it went with them through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So that soul growth was, and wouldn't it be amazing if today, in our school, here, around the world, that we were teaching that in a way, these chunks of knowledge, step by step, through the process, then another chunk of knowledge, step by step, through the process, until it's part of our soul, our very soul. That just is such a profound thought for me. If we could do that with our children, not just our children, what about ourselves? What about the next book we read? Instead of rushing through the whole thing, taking a chunk of what you've gotten from it and running through that process, put it into action, just like we're talking about with our environmental work here. Put it into action. Meditate on it. use mindfulness. Imagine it being taken into your heart. Imagine it being added to your soul growth. Isn't that something? It's a different way of thinking about it. I remember reading the book about, what's it called? It's called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. How many of you read that book? Yeah. And that book was really profound in this sense. What's his name that wrote it? Wayne Dyer, thank you. Wayne Dyer, when he was writing it, he would read a passage. There's 81 verses. He would read a verse, very short verses, and then he would meditate on it. Then he would go on an action walk and think about it, mindfulness. And then he would spend a day or two practicing and seeing how it affected his life. Then he would write his observations from that verse. And it took him over a year to do it. Now that's almost the kind of process we're talking about when we're talking about that ancient schools in Egypt, the metaphysical aspects of it. And I'd like to read from one of my favorite books. I'm sure a lot of you have the same feeling about this book. It's by Khalil Gibran, called The Prophet. How many have read that? Yeah, almost half in here have read that. And this is the verse on teaching. Then said a teacher, "Speak to us of teaching." And he said, "No man can reveal to you aught but that which already lies half asleep in the dawning of your knowledge. The teacher who walks in the shadow of the temple among his followers gives not of his wisdom, but rather of his faith and lovingness. If he is indeed wise, he does not bid you into the house of his wisdom, but rather lends you to the threshold of your own mind. For the vision of one man lends not its wings to another man." Now that really is, everything he's written is so beautiful, but I just love that particular one. Yeah. And then there is another teacher that I've really enjoyed being associated with, not personally, but listening to, The Wisdom of Abraham. Most of you probably know who Abraham is. It's a channel. And let's see. We're going to go to the next slide, please. No, that's it, right there. Thank you. Your inner guidance system. If it feels good, it is. This is the wisdom of Abraham. It sounds simple. It's so simple. If it feels good, it is. And that is your internal guidance system. It's your gut check on anything and everything that is in your life. And I'll give you an example. These new cars have all these fancy features on them, right? And my wife, Joanne, loves technology. And one of the features she really loves is the high beam, low beam automatically changing. You know, car comes along and boom, it changes down. Goes away, it pops back up. And a couple of times it's happened where I've gotten in the car to drive, and she's with me, and we're driving in the evening, and the beams don't change. She said, "You messed with it. You messed with my automatic. You took it off of automatic." And I would, initially, I knew I didn't do it, so I'd say, "No, I didn't mess with it. Well, it can't be me. I didn't do it, so who else is there? Wasn't the dog." And, you know, all of a sudden you're feeling, oh gosh, this doesn't feel very good, does it? It doesn't feel good in the gut. And so what I learned is if it's happened more than once, which it did, I learned to say, "You're right. That did get messed with. Don't know, but I'll try to be more aware." And done. Everybody's happy. It felt good. The ego didn't need to be a part of it. I didn't need to be right. Would you rather be happy or right? How many times have you heard that? Yeah. A happy wife, happy life, that's another one. Yeah. Guys, definitely pay attention to that one. So I also read a little bit from the Bible called Christian Spiritual Wisdom because, and there it is, I loved this idea of asking God for wisdom. Now, when I think of asking God for wisdom, I'm not thinking of beseeching someone out there. I'm thinking, I've got the wisdom in here. How do I release it? How do I get it out? I ask God, help me release that inner wisdom that's in there. So that is a technique that has worked for me in a number of times, and I've shared it before, so I won't share each of the stories again. But just one quick example, the Course in Miracles, some of you that have studied it know that it can be convoluted. And I've shared that one of the things I do is I read a passage and I can't quite understand it. I ask for help. I know I have the wisdom within to understand it, and it begins to clear it up. In fact, it always clears it up. There's other examples in my life, but I will just say that anytime I ask for help, it's there. So the next slide, please. This is what I'm talking about as seeing through the eyes of God. And seeing through the eyes of God isn't just our eyes. It isn't just our ears. It's our whole, entire perception. So we're seeing, and whatever we're seeing out there, if we're seeing up close something we don't like, what do we want to do if we see through the eyes of God? How would God see that? Well, we would see through the illusion into the beauty, the harmony, the balance, as if you were seeing it from a distance. If you looked at the planet from a distance, you don't see the pollution, you don't see all that. You see the beautiful blue-green planet. And listening through the ears of your inner being, because it's going to speak words of wisdom to you. And feeling the guidance of the gut, as we talked about. And taking action. You're the hands, you're the body of God. So you take that action so you can bring that into your soul and understand exactly what it is that you need to know from that. So I call it also living in the heart of God. Because in the heart of God you feel this unbounded joy, you feel this unconditional love. You just know it's where you want to be all the time. And when you're in that space, guess what happens? It goes out and people say, oh my gosh, I want to be like that. Let's get together, let's talk, let's be friends. You're attracting people into your life. Not only that, they're radiating that out as well. So it's part of the solution to all of the ills our planet has, is recognizing that positive thinking and recognizing we're all connected as one is the way forward for a lot of the solution to what's going on in our planet. So knowing all of creation is sacred, connected, unified, and we're connected with everything, everywhere. So let's go to Star Wars, because that's what this talk is. Yeah, okay, there's a Star Wars fan, okay. In the Star Wars universe, wisdom is highly valued. And George Lucas based a lot of his writing on spiritual wisdom and on mysticism and mythologies. And he drew a lot of that from Joseph Campbell, the hero of 1,000 faces. And that was embodied in the character of Yoda. And here's this little guy, diminutive-looking guy that is hardly human. He's a humanoid, maybe. And yet he embodies this wisdom. And Luke, who is working to be a Jedi warrior, is surprised when he meets him. Let's show the clip on that, if you will, and we'll talk about that a little more.
No. We'll never get it out now.
So certain are you? Always with you it cannot be done. Do you nothing that I say?
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
I can't. It's too big.
Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? And where you should not. For my ally is the Force. And a powerful ally it is. Life creates it. Makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the Force around you. Here, between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Yes, even between the land and the ship.
You want the impossible.
I don't believe it. That is why you fail.
Of a message in there, isn't there? Oh my gosh. I could talk about it for quite a while, but I thought instead of talking about it, what we might do is just take a couple of minutes, if you're willing to do it with me, and do a meditation where we use that power within ourselves and practice it. And I'm just going to give you a brief way of doing it, and you can take it home with you maybe and try it. So if you're willing to play with me on this one, I would ask you to close your eyes and just take a moment to become still. And I'm going to give credit. This is from a book by Sarah Langan and Mike Dooley titled The Dream, the Journey, Eternity, and God. Channeled answers to life's deepest questions. So go within and tune in to source energy. Open to it and allow it to flow through you. See yourself as Source sees you. Focus on the perception that everything you wish to be, you already are, and create from this truth. Wisdom knows that perception is everything. Perception of life guided by wisdom and love. We are all one and living in the flow of spirit. There is no separate self. Whatever is happening for you. Take a minute to recognize that you have full access to source energy, the force from within. You are source in physical form. You have already accomplished that transformation of your original non-physical energy into your current physical form. You have the ability to create worlds. When you believe this, that is when you will move incredible and miraculous things into physical form that are beyond your wildest dreams. And this envisioning, seeing it as already done, applies to the ethereal aspects we might desire as well. For example, of being wiser, wanting more love. See it and feel it in your physical body as your reality right here, right now. Remember, it's all energy, and consciousness moves energy into form. What is it you want to move from energy to form? Combine the inner wisdom of your mind with the loving compassion of your heart to contemplate the answer. Now, anyone that wants a copy of this, I can get it to you. We can put it on the website or whatever. But what I suggest is that you take time to really do some work with this. What I came up with after doing this myself was, I want to walk the talk of my talk. I want to really, really work with it. Because preparing the talk, you learn a lot. But you don't get a chance to really use it all until you take time. And giving the talk, of course, that's one thing. But doing it, being it, that's the key for all of us. So I can make this available if you'd like. I'm going to start to wrap up by talking about what I call the twin flames. I think there's a slide for that. Or not. Doesn't matter. Let's pass that one because the time is such. I guess there isn't a slide. I thought there was. Anyway, the twin flames that I'm talking about are love and wisdom. That is the power of bringing the head and the heart together. And it's like James is the apostle of wisdom. My namesake. wish I had it all. But in any case, John is the apostle of love. They're brothers. They're connected, the head and the heart. And that is the power that amplifies, like going from a magnet to an electromagnet when you combine those two. When you think about wisdom, or wisdom without love, it can be pretty academic. And it can be pretty cold if you don't really add love to it. And if you think about and changing that consciousness to one of unified connection with ourselves and with the planet, knowing that the planet is something that loves us like we love it. And so making that connection between love and wisdom. And the next slide talks about that. There's a book called First Principles and First Values by David J. Temple that I just finished reading. And I love this book because it was originally based on a lot of the ideas of Barbara Marx Hubbard, which a lot of you may know as a futurist. But it was written by David J. Temple, who is a colleague of Barbara Marx Hubbard, based on connection with a lot of the futurists, Ken Wilber and others. And it talks about what we need to do to save the planet is to recognize that we have to become the butterfly, not just Homo Sapien, but Homo Amor. You know what that means, right? Going from the wise human to the loving human and combining the two. And this book talks about that as first principles and first values. That is, that the first value is that everything in the universe has value. It's not what we give it. The universe has intrinsic value. We have intrinsic value. The tree outside has intrinsic value. It's not just how much can we get for it if we chop it down and make lumber out of it. We have value, not just how much we contribute to society. We have intrinsic value. That's a first principle. And that's where love and wisdom are combined. So I would like to close with, find it here. First of all, I'd like to just say that the talk, Discover the Power Within You, was intended to help you draw out that power within you if you don't already feel it and know it. Go home and practice with it. Know that this is something, if you take nothing else from the talk, know that you have the ability to use that power within, practice with it, take action on it, meditate on it, and learn from everything that you run into in your life as you go forward. And I'll close with a poem I wrote. Becoming a Sage. The time of our life called coming of age is really about becoming a sage. It's burning twin flames of wisdom and love that come to us not from high up above, but from our within, the seat of our soul, and lead us to wisdom with love as the goal. Those dreams of despair that often seem real are simply illusions that fear makes us feel. But love is the answer to fear's siren call. It frees us from doubt and connects to the all. With God as the source of the good that we see, our soul is the guide that helps set us free. So listen with ears that are tuned to the truth, and wisdom will flow with your words as the proof. Thank you.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he came my way. And as we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in. strange enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. Then one day, one magic day, he came my way, and as we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
Wow. Okay, it's time for a brief meditation. We're going to go on a quick journey. Let's close our eyes if you feel comfortable doing that. Let's feel our feet on Pachamama, beautiful earth that we get to stand upon and sit upon and sing upon and dance upon. First of all, I want to give kudos to Yoda. Here's this being that's less than 2 feet, has pointy, hairy ears, and loved by everyone. So I think that maybe I'm coming back as Yoda next time. So as you go on your journey, you're welcome to bring him along if you choose to, and that's okay if you don't. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to close our eyes, and as we have our eyes closed, we're going to know and embody that we have the capability to love and be loved in return. So let's go to our favorite place in nature right now. And any time that your head shows up, I want you to snap it right back into your heart. Oh, I can't do this meditation. I don't see anything. It's not going to work. We're going to move from our head to our heart. And as you're going on your journey, allow yourself to presence what it feels like to be loved and what it feels like to love. And let the flute sounds just take you to that place.
as we come back into the room, we wiggle our toes and shake our hands out and just know that we are alive. And the next time we look in the mirror, we look through the eyes of love, and we say, I love you to that reflection, and we say, I love you to every person that you feel that feeling for, and so it is.
You can give her a round of applause for that. That was beautiful. Victor, well done. Yes? Now, they told me Victor was on point, but they did not mention that Dave was as well. Was his piano happening? Well done, Dave. And thank you, Jim, for the beautiful talk. And Yoda, thank you, Yoda. Wise advice. You must unlearn what you have learned because, not everything we've learned in our lifetimes is serving us well. Please let me save you from drowning, said the monkey to the fish as he put it up in the tree. Yes, we're not always wise about what we think we know is right for ourselves and others. And so there's wisdom to be had out there, even in the movies. From Little Green Men. All right, Jane's going to come up and will help us with the offering today.
So I'd like to just mention, as we think about giving, the wisdom in giving. If you think about the indigenous people that we honored in the land acknowledgement earlier, they knew the importance of giving. When they had celebrations and they would gather with many tribes, the honor went to those who were giving away. And the more that they had to give, the better the ceremony was. That's a profound truth. We start by seeding what we want to grow. We don't start by getting and reaching for. And so when we have our offering time, yes, we need money. We need money to make this happen, that everyone gets to enjoy. But the reason that you give is not because we need money. The reason that you give, that all of us give, is to practice that ancient wisdom, that in giving of our energy, both our money and our time, we are seeding the future we desire. So as you hold your offering in your hand, if you have something that you're giving now, or as you're texting, or as you're setting up your automatic withdrawal deposit out from you into us, as you're doing that, think with wisdom. Come from your heart. Bring those two, love and wisdom, together. And allow your giving to seed the world that you want. I'd like to bring the givers, the greeters up. They're also givers, I know that about them. And we bless these baskets. They're empty now, and they are soon to be filled with the love and the seeds that we all have to offer. And let's enjoy our giving song.
I got gratitude in my heart. I got gratitude in my soul. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you. And thank you. I just want to say thank you for it all. Thank you for it all. I got gratitude in my heart, gratitude in my soul. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you for it all. Thank you for it all.
The love of pure spirit within us. We bless these gifts. We send them forth to heal, bless, and prosper. They are evidence of our faith and belief. They do good work in the world and return to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. All right. Thank you, greeters, and thank you, everyone, for your contributions to make this community what it is. This is the time in the service where we would like to welcome anybody who's new or relatively new to this community. You're coming here for the first time or relatively first time. Or anybody in the room brave enough to hold their hand up? And yes, I see a couple. Any chance we can get you to introduce yourself and say where you're from and how you found us? Yeah.
I go to Unity in Naples, Florida.
Whoa.
I'm here visiting my daughter and imagining what it would be like to move here.
Excellent.
And what a lovely community. What a
Thank you
great
for coming.
Thank you.
Can we talk you into it in that back? Oh, two in the back there.
Oh, there were two. Hi, I didn't wake up this morning imagining myself holding a microphone, but here we are. My name is Lauren. I just moved here from New York City. I took a brief pause in San Francisco, realized it wasn't my forever place.
Whoa.
And then, yeah, I'm here because I actually have never been to Unity Church, but I've been kind of on a hunt for community and reconnecting with church communities that feel really aligned. I grew up in the church, so this has been really refreshing to be here, and I just really thank you all for welcoming me with open arms.
Excellent. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shriman, and this is my partner, Tara. We're here for two good friends that invite us to come. It's Greg and Susan. And they're camping. So we've been traveling the world for the last few years, and we choose Bend to be our home now since last week. So we feel that deeply gratitude and feel super honored to be landing in this sacred space today. So thank you so much, and we're looking forward for ongoing connection and to sharing all our gifts from yoga teachers and just heart-centered beings with so much love and deep connection and whatever comes to us to serve you. So thank you so much for having us.
We've got visitors from not only all over the nation, but all over the world. We've got worldly travelers with us today. Thank you all. I appreciate. Oh, we have more? There's more.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
Hi, my name's Dylan. I'm here with my mom. It's our first time here. We were just kind of looking for a community that aligned with our values, and this seemed like a really cool place. So thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming. Did we miss anyone? All right. Brave souls today. Thank you guys for sharing. If you'd like to hear more about the community and receive a weekly email as to what's going on here at Unity, there's a blue card in front of you. You can go ahead and fill that out. You can give it to any one of the greeters that came about. You can come and give it to me or Jane, who has been up here, and we'll get your email address in the system, and you'll start receiving weekly emails, keep you informed as to what's going on around here. All right, can we have our prayer chaplains come up? Yeah? These prayer chaplains are here if you'd like a personal prayer, if there's something you'd like to see enter your life, changes in the world, changes in somebody else's life perhaps, come up and you can have a personal session with them and you can see genuine miracles happen. There are tons of stories floating around in this community of genuine miracles resulting from this prayer that I'm referring to. So don't be shy. It is an honor and a blessing for them to pray with you. So come on up if you have that. And so we're going to go ahead and read our prayer of attention and intention as we head out in the world. And don't forget, the whole point of these challenges that we're putting up and the raffle at the end of this 12 weeks is to take what you've received here today out into the world. Because yes, you can come here and get a nice warm feeling, but you can also get that by taking a bath. So take that out into the world and put it into action and make the world a better place, one human at a time, one piece, one action at a time, one hug, one smile, one thank you at a time. All right, let's read our prayer of intention. Holy light shines within and all around me, a presence of love that is always there. I am that presence. I am a radiant field of love energy. I am holy light. My essence cradles and guides me. I am a gift in this world. I go forth from here in joy to bless the world with my loving light. Thank you, everyone. Be good humans.
Oh yeah, yeah, last time I got gratitude in my heart. I got gratitude in my soul. I just want to say thank you.
Mahalo.
I just want to say thank you. Have a great week. I just want to say thank you for it.